welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share a little art supply haul with you and talk about a couple of projects that I decided to do to explore a bunch of different little facets of art making. I talked in my last video about some ways that I was frustrated with my creative process, and a couple of ideas have come to me that I'm feeling inspired about, so I'm going to share that with you as well as I talk about the art supplies that I got. So the whole reason I went to Michael's was to pick up some canvases because I had this one idea last summer when I was basically getting ready to go to the Taylor Swift The Eras tour at the end of the summer in LA. And I was just like listening to all of her albums again throughout the summer. And I started to get this idea, what if I did a series inspired by all of her album covers? And I kind of just like tucked that idea away for a while, and I just started thinking about it again as I'm really wanting to explore color and composition a little bit more. And I thought this would be the perfect thing to do in order to do that. I wanted to pick up some square-shaped canvases so that they would resemble album covers. So that was why I went to Michael's, and these are what I got. I just got a jumbo set of 14 by 14 inch canvases. There's 6 in this package. I wasn't like too concerned with the quality of the canvases that I purchased on this outing because, like I said, I'm really in an exploratory phase and I'm not sure where any of this is going. So I don't want to feel like the canvases are too precious. But also these were just like the perfect shape and size, 14 by 14. So I got 2 of these since she has 12 albums. And I think it's going to be really fun to explore the colors that are on the album covers. I just made a little Pinterest board of all of her album covers. And I know there's a couple different covers for certain albums, so I'm just going to go with the one that's most artistically inspiring to me. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also going to, like, while I paint each one, I'm going to be listening to that album. So I'm going to start all the way from the Taylor Swift album, her debut, and go through all the way up until the anthology. And I thought what I would do is each painting that I make, I'm going to film a video that corresponds with that and kind of show my process of painting those colors and that album cover, and go ahead and put that on YouTube and share that process. And I think it's gonna be like beyond the subject matter. Like, I'm obviously a Swiftie and I really love her music and like her lyrics and the feelings and thoughts that all of that evokes. Like, that's such a big part of my painting process anyway, is like putting on music that really makes me feel something. But I also thought it would be a really great way to explore different colors that I wouldn't normally use, different color combinations, like color palettes that go together, and also treat it like a compositional study. So looking at the album and kind of see how it's laid out, but it's all going to be abstract in my own interpretation of what that album would look like abstracted. So I think that's going to be a really fun challenge. And when I was telling my 7-year-old about it, she came with me to Michael's. She wanted to do it too. I got this little mini set of 8 by 8s. There's 12, which is perfect. So she's going to do it right along with me because all of my children are also Swifties. So that's going to be super fun, and I'll probably share hers in the videos as well. So while I was at the art supply store, I also got some other canvases, which I'll share with you now. These are just to continue my exploration of colors and technique, and while I'm still searching for that breakthrough that I talked about previously. I also just thought I'll pick up a bunch of extra canvases that aren't too precious, and that way I can really allow myself the time and space to really explore without it needing to go in a certain direction. So I'll show you those. Again, we're going with the super value packs, which I've talked about also in my art supply video that I shared previously, like talks about when you're going through an exploration phase or you're a beginner, do not worry about the quality of your canvases just yet. And that's the phase that I'm in right now. Not that these are terribly awful, but they're also not like top of the line, and that is okay. There's 7 in here, 12 by 12. One of my go-to sizes when I started painting a little bit larger, 16 by 20. I really just like this size, so I got 5 of those. 18 by 24 is another ratio that I really enjoy. I don't like a canvas that is really long and skinny. I don't like them if they're rectangle, but they're a little too square rectangle, if that makes sense. So this is just a really good ratio I enjoy as well, 18 by 24. And then they had a big sale on their actual like really top of the line canvases that I didn't know about before I went into Michael's. Had I known that, I might have filled up my entire car with them because this is the best sale I've ever seen. But on the professional grade canvases, they had buy one, get 2 free, which is unheard of. So I got, this is 24 by 30, and they have the really nice thick edge to them. And these are the canvases that I typically use on some of my large paintings. So I really do enjoy like the heavy weight and quality of these. So I bought one and I got 2 more, which was very exciting. And I was also kind of daydreaming about buying the really big ones. The biggest painting I've ever done is 48 by 60. But they had even bigger, and they would not have fit in my car, but the fact that they were buy one, get 2 free, I just was like, I want to stock up on all these large canvases that are super quality. However, I had to remind myself, this is not why I came in there, and that's not the phase I'm in right now. Once I go through this process of exploring color and composition and new techniques and just really allowing myself to have fun and be free for a while, then it might be time to come back and purchase some really large canvases and put all of those discoveries onto a new series. So that might happen in the future, and really Michael's and Hobby Lobby, like they do have sales, but this was just a particularly good one that I haven't seen. Okay, since I'm going to be exploring some new colors, I also got some fun colors to add to my paint. Now, I didn't necessarily need paint because I pretty much do have every color that exists, but I just thought that I would add some in because they were having a sale on their Artist Loft paint, which I've said before in my art supply video that I like to mix higher end and lower end paint together. It's completely fine. In the end, before I sell a painting, I make sure that it has really good paint quality. I use so many layers, so a lot of it will get covered up, and in the final layer, like I am using like the golden paint, I'm mixing the golden white with inks. I'm doing things that is going to ensure in the end a really good paint quality, plus I'm varnishing the painting before I sell it, and so I'm not worried about mixing in different kinds of paint throughout my process because I know in the end I'm still going to get a good result. I decided to go ahead and sort of get like every color of the rainbow. There we go. Red, orange, and 2 kind of yellows because I like to have a mustard always. It's one of my favorite colors. And then we've got a green, a light blue, a purplish color, and then a cream. I also walked by the splurge section and couldn't say no, so I got these 2. They're kind of like a brick burgundy sort of red and like a dark rust. And then kind of like a sea green, a light sort of periwinkle bluish purple, and a dark blue. So that was fun. And then I had to pull myself out of that aisle because I will literally want to buy every color that exists. So even like my mind just goes blank on what I have at home. Like I literally can't recall what's at home. So it was time to get out before I wanted to buy everything. But that was so much fun. I left the art supply store feeling so inspired and so excited to have a ton of canvases in the back of my car again. This is something that I used to do when Isabel was a baby. She would cry every time we would go in the car, the stroller. She was just like really sensitive to being in the car seat. And so I spent a lot of time at home in those early months, but like once a week for my mental health to get out of the house, I would put her in the car, we would go through the Starbucks drive-thru, and then we would go walk around Hobby Lobby because that was the closest art supply store. And I would put as many canvases and paints and things as I could in the cart and fill up the back of my car, and I was just so inspired back then to paint. And it's been hard for a while to kind of go through that ebb and flow of feeling burnt out and not creating as much. And so that moment to be like driving home with new paint and a bunch of new canvases and an actual idea to bring forth was so amazing. And I was just feeling so lit up and happy and grateful on my drive home and when I got back. Apart from the Taylor Swift project, I do have a little bit of other inspiration that is brewing that I want to share with you. So before we went to Michael's, we also went to the dollar store because my daughter wanted to get some more surfaces to paint on. I got her some canvas panels there and a bunch of little wood items that she could paint. And while we were there, I saw this, and basically, I've been seeing a lot of roses everywhere I go. We have a bunch of different color roses in the backyard. We have these bushes where like all these different colors will start growing only this time of year.
Come on, stop, turn the key and cooler on. This a pause for relief.
And I'm also seeing roses throughout my community. And I was just really thinking about maybe painting flowers, but in a more abstracted way. And I've tried to paint flowers so many times and they always come out really literal and they don't look like I want them to look, but I'm in an exploratory phase and that is okay. It's okay to try things and not have it turn into a painting right now. I really have to allow myself to explore my creativity right now without a lot of judgment. And so I saw this when I was at the dollar store and it just kind of like inspired me. And so I just picked it up and I'm thinking of making a little like cork board in here, maybe under on this wall right here, of inspirational items, kind of like a mood board, things that inspire me to paint. And so I picked this up. It's just, I think it's some kind of decals or something. It was in the sticker section. And it just has like the kind of colors that I love. This reminded me of sort of like when I use inks, and then even like gold paint pen is what it's like surrounded by. And I just love all of these colors. So I was really glad that I picked it up. And so I'm gonna get that cork board and put this on it. And then for Mother's Day, my youngest made me, I opened up like this little envelope that she made, and in it she had used like roses from the garden, and she made this little card for me like using actual roses, and it says on here, nature, flowers, rose petals, like to mommy, love Isabel and everything, which I thought was so pretty, but it also really inspired me. And she also used some paint pens on the other side here, like on a napkin. And these colors were so pretty. And just this piece in particular, let's see if I can get it to focus. It actually kind of looks like the colors behind me. But this little piece of napkin with all these beautiful paint pen colors on it, along with the roses and this, I just thought it was like a whole moment here to put on my mood board. So I'm gonna get that and put it back here because I was wanting like a little inspiration board anyway. And I just feel like maybe painting flowers in those kind of colors of like pinks and greens, that might be something that I do as well. And so I'm so glad to have so many canvases to try this out on. I also have a lot of paper, like paint paper, watercolor paper, that I can use as well if I'm just kind of trying out an idea like in a smaller form without actually even needing to put it on a canvas yet. That's a good place to like practice drawing or using watercolors, mixed media, things like that. Even collage, which I used to do mixed media when I was first painting a lot. And so you never know, I might bring back in a little mixed media again. I've been really loving oil pastels, and I'm also going to try out charcoal pencil. So I'm just really excited to see what the future brings, and I'm excited that the summer is coming up and that our schedule is going to open up pretty wide, and we're going to have lots of time to come in the art studio and paint and explore these ideas. And I'm really excited about the Taylor Swift project, which is going to be so much fun because we're huge Swifties, and it's going to be so fun to try and interpret each album using color, using composition, and also listening to the album while making it. I think it's going to be a really special project. And like I said, I'm going to make one video for each one, so 12 videos and 12 paintings that go along with it. And I might even turn them into prints depending on how they turn out, and so that'll be really fun. And it's super cool that Isabel wants to do it along with me, and I'm excited to see what her paintings look like as well. And I'm excited to bring you along on this journey with me. And I thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.